Sure, wait. I think I'm supposed to start now, is it?
Inshallah, Shaykh, you can start now.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. This hadith that we are going to be talking about very briefly is talking about intention. إنما الأعمال بالنيات. The hadith is Sayyidina Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu narrates, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما الأعمال بالنيات. That Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, actions depend on intentions. And then the hadith continues. This hadith is considered to be one of the most important hadiths out of the collection of the hadiths. In fact, when Imam Ahmad rahimahullah wanted to select 3 hadiths that he would consider to be the foundation of Islam, he said there are 3 hadiths that would be foundation of Islam. One of them is this hadith, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Imam Abu Dawud rahimahullah and many other scholars, they say that this hadith is 1/4 of Islam, which means if you take all the Islamic sciences and divide them in 4 sections, one section will be intentions. So this is how important this hadith is. Very, very important, and especially pointing out something that is also very important, and that is sincerity. What is the message of the hadith? Without going into detail, basically, we have our salah shortly, Salatul Asr over here. So my time is very, very short. But very briefly, I will try to explain what this hadith is all about. The background of the hadith is when Sahaba were immigrating from Mecca to Medina, one of the Sahaba Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'een immigrated with the intention of marrying a woman in Medina. When Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam found out, he went on the minbar and he said this hadith, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ وَإِنَّمَا لِامْرِئٍ مَّا نَوَى. All actions depend on intentions, and every person will be rewarded and will be getting whatever he has intended. And then he went into further detail, which is telling us that all of us could be doing the same action, but our reward could be totally different. Not only that, in one saf, you have 30 people standing in a saf. Every person's reward is different. Some of those people could be such who are not getting any reward, and some of those people could even be such who are getting sin for the same action for which the others are rewarded. So the same action that is leading one person to Jannah, the same action could be leading someone else into Jahannam, in the same saf, standing shoulder to shoulder, standing together, but one of them through this action is heading to Jannah, the other one through the same action is heading to Jahannam. This is how important intention is in Islam. Intention is all about our sincerity with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is sincerity? I just want you to think, what is sincerity? When we think about sincerity, for some reason we have limited sincerity in making an intention and not showing off in my 2 rak'ah salah, or not showing off in some of the ibadah that I'm performing. So now if you ask someone what is sincerity, that person will say, you don't show off with your salah, you don't show up with your sadaqah, you don't show off with your fasting, you don't show off with your hajj. This is sincerity. But for some reason, this is some what we have been just repeatedly saying it and limiting sincerity, which is something that applies to every part of our life, and then limiting it into a small portion of our ibadat. I just want to briefly explain what is sincerity in the light of this hadith. Remember, sincerity is the thing that every human being, Muslim or non-Muslim, the thing that every human being needs as a foundation of morality in his life. Foundation of morality. If it is based on sincerity, this person's behavior, actions, morality will be perfect, and he will be a good human being. Whether that person is a good believer or not yet, but at least he will be a good human being as a human being. But if a person does not have sincerity, that person cannot even be a good human being. You know, in every country, they want people who are loyal to the country. You have to be loyal to the country. What does that mean? You're sincere for the cause of the country, and you are not going to hurt the country. Same thing, you go to work somewhere. You have to be loyal. You are you are living in with some friends in a room. You have to be mukhlis, and you have ikhlas. You have sincerity towards these people. So sincerity affects every person in everything in our life. Sincerity, when it comes to iman, becomes even more important. In iman, sincerity is such a thing. On the day of qiyamah, there will be a test. There will be a test that every person will have to pass the test with 100% marks. You cannot get 99%. If a person gets 99% in that exam, that person has failed. Do you know this? If a person will get 99% in the exam of the akhirah, that person is failed. Which exam? Not the exam of the amal. Amal will be weight. You have more good deeds than the sins. Yeah, there are sins, but you have more good deeds. You pass. But sincerity is something that if you don't have it 100% in all of your actions, that action is totally gone. A person performs salah with 99% sincerity, 1% showing off, 1% for someone else, that person's salah is not valid, is not acceptable. So sincerity is something that is required in all of our actions. We have to be sincere to our family members. You are, as a son, be sincere to your parents. As a parent, be sincere to your children. Sincerity in every part of our life. I'm going to hold for a minute. See if it's
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
So I was saying sincerity is something that is needed for every human being and for every action. Just to build a personality, a right personality, sincerity has to be there. If our children are not sincere and then they don't care about their parents, whoever just calls them, they go there, them, that uncle is better than my father because he gave me a candy, and that aunt is better than my mother because she really loves me. No, has to be sincerity there. So personality, it's building a personality on the basis of sincerity. It's a foundation. And then, as I said, in iman, we need it in everything. A person could be doing a lot of good things in his life, a lot of things in his life. You build a hospital and you have a free treatment for all the patients for the worst diseases in the world, and maybe your hospital is the only one that can treat people with that type of disease, and you go and look for people that are sick, you pick them up from their homes, bring them to the hospital, provide them full treatment, send them back home, and this could go against you. This could be just waste of time, waste of energy, waste of money. Why? Because there is no sincerity. What the reason for which you're doing this work? If there is no ikhlas, there is no sincerity, everything is going to waste. Everything is being lost. You know what is sincerity? This is just like when you're driving the car and someone is driving the car and this person is accelerating. He's holding the steering and he's pressing on the accelerator, and the car is making noise, and the person is going and he's so happy. I'm moving. I built a hospital. I helped so many people. I gave such a big donation. I did such and such and such. I did so and so. And this person, he's hearing a lot of noise. Everyone, oh, you're doing so great. I thank you. I really thank you. And I appreciate it. And we are offering you a big prize, and we are having your names in the media, in the newspapers, and the TV, everywhere. Your name will be published and your pictures will be published. And you are so happy about it. You're hearing so much noise. But this person who's driving that car and he's hearing a lot of noise from the car, so he feels he's moving fast forward, he's going fast, but later on he realizes the car was in a reverse gear. It wasn't in the forward gear, it wasn't in drive, it was in reverse gear. So where is this person going? He's going away from the destination rather than getting closer to the destination. All of that noise was what was getting him away from the destination. So same thing, when there is no ikhlas, when there is no sincerity, a person hears a lot of noise all around him. Oh, mashallah, you are this, you did this, and you are this, and you said this, and your lecture was so good, and your teaching was so good, and so much that people can say, and yet the person could be in a reverse gear, going further away from the hidayah and going further away from the Jannah. So this is why it's extremely important we make sure put the car in the right gear, and that is your sincerity, your ikhlas. Innamal a'malu binniyat. Actions depend on intention. What is your intention of doing it? I want to become popular. I want people to hear me. I want people to recognize me. I want people to appreciate me. I want people to respect me. What is it? All of this is dunya. All of these things are dunya. I want people to respect me. This is dunya. I want people to appreciate it. This is dunya. If your intention is only for Allah, that you are doing it only for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, now you are moving forward. So innamal a'malu bin niyat. Niyyah is extremely important in everything. But remember one rule we have to remember where people make mistake in innamal a'malu bin niyat. And that is, you can never do something that is haram and say my intention is good. That wrong action will not become good deed by your good intention. You cannot change the haram. You cannot be stealing, and when you're caught, you say, I'm stealing to give some donation out of it. This is not going to make that stealing halal. So innamal a'malu binniyat will not make haram things halal, but will put power in your good deeds, in things that are mubah, which means it's not something that you will even consider ibadah. Eating is a normal action, is natural thing. Every person would do. Using the bathroom, normal action, any person would do. You make the right intention for that, you get reward for that also. For using the bathroom, for eating, for drinking, for sleeping, for exercising, playing with your own children. It's going to be rewarding time. Spending time with your family, it's rewarding time for you during that time. as long as you have that intention, I'm doing this for the sake and the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is where one last thing that I want to remind everyone. Majority of the time in our time, especially in our time, majority of the time, when people make mistake about intention and about sincerity, is not wrong intention, is the absence of intention. Is not the wrong intention, is the absence of intention. That no intention. I'm spending time with the family, but I have no intention. If I would have made intention of pleasing my family for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He used to make his family happy. He used to play with the children. He used to enjoy his time with the family. So make those intention, and you are getting multiple rewards for it. So it's not wrong intention, is the absence of the intention, that we are not even making no intention, and we don't have no intention for even doing the things that we are normal things that we are doing in our day-to-day life. So whatever we are doing, make sure, pause for a second. That's it. Take a lesson from this hadith and from this lesson today and from this lecture today. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. That you will pause for a minute, for a second, and you will just make an intention of the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you have this habit, then this will protect you from so much haram, because when you're about to do something wrong and you're trying to make the intention of for the pleasure of Allah, you will think, I'm going to backbite for the pleasure of Allah. No, I cannot. So I'm going to stop backbiting. Or I'm going to do this haram for the pleasure of Allah. No, this cannot bring me the pleasure of Allah. So this will be a great protection from all the haram also. May Allah bring this niyyah, this intention, and the importance of intention in our lives. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا وحبيبنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين.